Good morning, Mr. Junge.
Good morning.
It's a
Hi.
pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
So, you want to be in business analyst intern, I've heard.
That's correct. Yes.
So, I had a look at your CV and your unsolicited letter, which was quite good. I was
Thank
surprised.
you.
You definitely had some interesting experiences present in your CV,
Okay.
which I definitely would like to ask a couple of questions
Oh
about.
yeah, of course.
Well, first of all, one of the things that stick out to me the most was your participation in the honors program in the Hansa University of Applied Sciences. Well, I think you mentioned as well it was a little bit about personal and professional development. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit about your experience in there?
Of course, yes, sure. So the Honors Talented program is basically a program besides your studies where you put your and elaborate your own focus. So for me, it was really important to keep a big focus on personal development because I think that's really essential, specifically to become even more and more professional later on. So what we do in the Honors program, we make a game plan pretty much. So we set goals and then I have my personal mentor and we will review these goals and the way how to get to these goals periodically and see where you can make adjustments and what you can do to reach your goals. So due to that, I think that yeah, we keep a steady focus on the professionality and steady professional and personal development, which I really enjoy. It's a big topic for me.
That's really interesting. Do you have maybe any key examples of maybe lessons you've learned so far? If you would like to share them, of course.
Yeah, of
Maybe not
course.
too personal.
Well, basically, for me, really interesting part is conflict management, and I think that you can apply this in the professional section as a consultant, but also in a personal, in your inner circle, basically at home. So, due to that, we had classes and lessons that taught us how to communicate properly and maybe send the message in a different way so the person that you're addressing is understanding the message in the way that you want them to understand it. Because often when it comes to conflicts, there's a lack of communication and maybe a misunderstanding and misinterpretation. And we specifically learn this skill in these classes. And it helps me to communicate with my peers, but also in the professional context. For instance, when I have group projects and I have to coordinate them, I don't know, somehow it's always my job to take the guiding role in those projects. And of course, it comes with conflicts, that's totally normal. But then we learn how to deal with that and how to maybe address the peer that we have a conflict with in a different way so they don't feel harassed or attacked, but better understand your situation and you can find a way to solve the issue.
Well, that's pretty interesting. One of the things, the conflict management, also in your employment history, you were a firefighter, or you presently still are. Well, I believe there's probably some potential for conflict situations or stressful situations that require a lot of communication. Do you maybe have one of those examples for challenging an individual issue in the context of group behavior or group dynamics?
Of course, yes. Well, we as firefighters always work in a team, right? So you have to be coordinated and communicate in a proper way. But since we have all different ages, sometimes there's a different understanding of communication because we just grew up in a different environment, in a different setting, and in a different way. So a specific example where these things are applied and actually contrasted is on a call. We were on a scene, there was a burning house, and we had to get a person out of the house. And, well, sounds quite easy, but as soon as you come into a pressure situation, communication totally changes. And you have to start thinking analytically and actually, make a game plan and evaluate where are the risks, where are the chances, and apply these. So in that context, if you actually go systematically after a plan and analytically after the actual situation and analyze it, break it down and evaluate the best option you could go with, I think that this would be the communication we have to have in the team setting in our fire department. Do you have any more questions specifically about this topic? I'm more than willing to elaborate more for you if you
Mm.
want to.
Well, actually, I do. Um, you said there was a situation where you had to rescue someone out of a burning house. Um, in that example, is there any specific case you could mention where you would be taking initiative, or would you were the one to act first?
Well, definitely yes. By the point where you enter the fire department and say, well, I'll do a volunteer job. But it's a different initiative taking on the scene because you cannot just take initiative, run into the burning house and rescue someone on your own. On your own, because you also have responsibilities for your fellows and your team. This is why we work in a team setting to take care of each other. And yes, initiative taking is actually the step that comes before. So me being there at the scene, helping others, I would consider this as being or applying initiative. Yes.
One of the things you also mentioned in your letter was your participation or your successful leadership. What do
Mhm.
you define as successful leadership?
That's a good question. I was thinking about that for a long time because success defines really individual regarding on the person. So for me, it's actually to guide my team that I'm working with. So I'm now talking better about a team success rather than my own success because I think this is even more important also for the internship. Um, that you guide your team towards the goal that you set together. But not only this, but also the way how to get there. So you're enjoying each other, you're actually reviewing each other's work, you're giving advices to each other, and you bind together as a team. And I think this is success because you're in a team way stronger than on your individual, and you are able to, yeah, tackle way more workload than you would work on your individual. And being in this position that you can rely on your team and you trust your team is for me success.
And how would you say you could apply that in your internship as a business analyst in our company?
That's correct. In your job description, you were talking about specifically market structure and market development as well as business development, because I saw that you want to extend your business into the branch of medical plants. And I grew up on an organic farm back in Germany, and my parents wanted to change the company structure. So I was thinking about it myself, what would be options, and I actually developed the business of medical plans and medical initiatives. So um, I dealt with this a lot, and I wouldn't consider myself as being the person who's driving your team towards the goal of actually restructuring your company or extending it. But I'm definitely a creative thinker, and being able to work in a team to distribute my creative thinking and ideas. And yeah, this is why I think that me as an intern in your company would be beneficial for you.
That's interesting. Um, would you say in your current situation, looking back at your life, are there any situations where you could say, okay, I didn't give 100%. I could have done more to achieve even greater things?
No, I would say till today I've done, well, I gave pretty much 100% in any situation where I was asked to and I had to. Of course, there is some spare time in between where you have to recharge your battery. I always call it recharging your battery, where you just rest. And I think these times are also really important to be even more focused on the next day. Till now, I would say I've always gave 100%, and the situation where I'm at right now is only because I was working towards this and actually challenged myself on an extra level besides my studies, besides my school, besides my free time, and steadily increased my knowledge. And yeah,
Would you say that in your free time when you're resting, recharging your battery,
mhm.
are you also participating in any further education, or are you just recharging your battery?
I
What
do.
do you
I'm really,
define?
really interested in, especially in my free time, to yeah, deal with documentaries, stock markets, business analytics, consultancy projects, the economy just itself, because this is something that I don't connect to work or exhaustment. It's more my passion and interest. So I would say that yes, I'm dealing with these topics in my free time and in my recharging the battery time as well, because it's just a huge interest of myself. So I'm not switching off my mind or my brain and just rest. It's for me, it's rest to actually increase my knowledge and get some documentaries, provide myself with even more information, because in the nowadays environment we have such really fast changing factors, and if you apply yourself to these changing factors over and over again, your knowledge is not getting outdated, and this is what I think is very important.
That sounds to me like a very entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about actually starting your own company?
That's funny. Yes, I have thought about this. This is actually one of the reasons why I applied myself to your position as an internship, because I want to expand my knowledge, especially in these medical plant business and pharmacy business. As I said, my parents were restructuring their company, and not a lot has changed since then. But I was actually thinking establishing my own company when I'm done with my studies. And before I can do that, of course, I have to get familiar with chances and risks. What could I do wrong? What have others done wrong? And understand a concept that is applied and is successful, for instance, your company. And maybe, copying some of these ideas to work with them later on and avoid some losses in the development of my own business. Yes, I have thought about this, and it's still striving me. Yeah.
So what would be the incentive for us to take you into our team then, if you're just looking for personal gain?
That's a good question. I'm not only looking for personal gain, I'm also here to contribute to your team and to give my critical and creative thoughts towards your company, maybe to even work with you on a project where you can expand your business towards the medical plant growing. And it's, I think, for me, just to increase my knowledge. But this is something that you can't avoid, because anywhere you go, any internship you do, you increase your knowledge and you learn something. And I would be really appreciated if you show me something about, your skills and your company that, increases my knowledge and helps me to maybe change the world in a little context later on as well.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Junge.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
We will get back to you by email or phone.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day.